Iowa corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by U.S. Cellular, built for the Hawkeyes. Built for silencing notifications and turning up the noise. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Oh, my. Is it great to be a Hawkeye or what? Pick a sport. Basketball, football, wrestling, soccer, field hockey. Everywhere you look, you see Big Ten titles and Sweet 16s. And for the next 90 minutes, it's our maiden voyage ship sailing of Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. Good evening, everybody. Gary Dolphin, joined by Bobby Hansen. We'll be flanking the head Hawk Fran McCaffery shortly. Iowa has just returned from a West Coast trip where they split a pair of games at the Rady's Children's Hospital Thanksgiving Classic, dropping a decision to Oklahoma, and then a nice bounce-back victory over Big East opponent Seton Hall Saturday afternoon. Great day Saturday, basketball, right after the Hawkeyes defeated the Nebraska Cornhuskers out at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, and football to go to Indianapolis this weekend as the Big Ten West Division champions and take on mighty Michigan. More on that as the week presses on. The Hawks, meanwhile, in basketball get set for a home game with 8 o'clock tip-off on Wednesday night at Carver Hawkeye Arena with the North Florida Ospreys. Now that's a Seahawk. It's a river hawk. It's a fish hawk. But it is a hawk. So you know they're going to put up a good fight. Hawkeyes sit there at 4-2 and get ready to host North Florida before they head into Big Ten play. It's that quirky early December, 2 games in, then back out of the Big Ten for a few more non-conference tilts before it's constant Big Ten basketball at the beginning of the year. Bobby Hansen was in San Diego. I was not. Win a game, lose a game, or lose a game, win a game, but split a pair of games in a neutral setting with a different basketball. What'd you think overall? Pretty good trip?
Yeah, it was a good trip because you had quick bounce back, Gary. I talked to Coach McCaffery after the game, and that was one of the positives. He's like, look, we don't have to sit around here and wait for 3 days to play another game. Where didn't shoot the ball very well against Oklahoma. Oklahoma with a physical, hands-on type of a defense, and the Hawks just couldn't hit. I don't think they made a three-pointer in the first half. Got going late in the second half. The positive there was the young kids, the 4 freshmen and Josh Dix, that second unit that comes in there and performed really well. And in the end, I think they made 3 three-point field goals to finish that Oklahoma game and bring the score to a 12-point loss. But it carried over to the next day. And on Saturday, when you had to play a tough team in Seton Hall, who really battled USC the day before, we watched that game a little bit of it, went back to the hotel, but they were down 22, 24 points. Seton Hall was. Remember, they flew almost 3,000 miles from New Jersey to San Diego. That's a long trip there, but they didn't have it there. But they got going the second half and put a press on and battled. So you knew this was going to be a heck of a game and tough team there in Seton Hall. But the Hawks were ready. They were ready. They came out with energy. My number one club car wash key was you got to come out here and forget about yesterday and play with that energy, and the coaches had them ready to go. And really, I don't think they trailed in that game. They led pretty much wire to wire. It might have been tied right at the beginning there, but they were impressive, shot the ball great. The Hawkeyes did early, and Peyton Sanford, he got going. He was playing with the eye of the tiger there to lead the Hawkeyes in scoring with 22.
You got to see bits and pieces of both games. Thursday, of course, when we landed in in Lincoln, got to see a little bit of the Oklahoma game. Rough start, couldn't hit a shot, to your point.
Yeah.
And sometimes that happens not only on the road, but you're in a building you've never been in before. And you know what these holiday tournaments are. They're to better against quality competition. They're there to prepare you for what lies ahead in the Big Ten. But, it was disappointing. And I know nobody's more disappointed than the players and the coaches. But when we got back Saturday from Nebraska, I got to hear you and John the entire second half, and it just had a better flow to it. And what I really liked was Seton Hall made a number of runs to cut a double-digit lead down to, 3, 4, 5, and the Hawks spurted right back out with an 8-0 blitz or a 6-2 run. And to your point, never let them get ahead, let alone tie.
No, never did. And the rebounding was really good. I got to go back to that Oklahoma game. Matt Gatens had the scout on that one as we talked at the shoot-around. It's like, what's the one thing that bothers, what concerns you? And he said rebounding. They have a couple of guys that really offensive rebound. So a lot of emphasis was put on that, and the Hawks win the battle of the boards there, 44-35. That's really impressive. And they couldn't not throw it in the ocean there, as close as we were to the ocean there in beautiful La Jolla, California. But look at the offensive rebound numbers from 18 offensive rebounds of those 44 total. So that is impressive. That means you're getting after it and you're not giving up on the play just because you missed a shot. But, and they assisted on a lot. The game against Seton Hall, 20 assists, 31 made baskets. So took good care of the ball. Not such good job against Oklahoma because of their physical defense, but much better on that turnaround game, had just 11 turnovers. But Owen Freeman, I think, once again impressed a lot of people. A lot of Hawkeye fans out there, Gary. A lot of black and gold.
I heard the crowd.
Yeah, let's go Hawks.
Roaring.
And many different times it really helped the Hawks, and they were all around. It was a cool little arena. It's UC San Diego. There's 3 universities: San Diego State, San Diego, and then UC San Diego. But yeah, very nice, very nice campus that they have there, and obviously the weather is pretty special. Now, the price of gas, if those are listening, I took a peek. You want to guess what gas was out there?
Let me guess. It was $7 a gallon in L.A. I know. It was San Diego. $5.50,
yeah, $6.75 or $6.79.
It hasn't come down that much then out there.
No, that was nuts. When we came in Tuesday night and in traffic and looked over at that gas station, it's like people are in their cars all day long out here in California. How do they do it?
You were glad you were on a bus.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's easy to forget. We're only 6 games into the season, Bobby. It's easy to forget that Coach McCaffery and the staff have recruited 6 new faces, essentially 2 transfer portals. Of course, we love Ben Crickey. And 4 freshmen to go with 3 or 4 veterans. So this is a team still trying to find its identity, its true identity. We know what the style is going to be, but beyond Perkins, beyond Patrick McCaffery, beyond Peyton Sanford, who else is going to step up? You mentioned Owen Freeman. Obviously, Ben Crickey has done it.
He has. What a special player Ben is, and what a good use of the transfer portal right there, Gary. When you identify a need and you find a kid, and they went and found Ben Crickey. They knew who he was. Knew he's a leading scorer in the Missouri Valley Conference there, so that means a kid can play. But he's been better than I expected him to be. So Ben had a really good tournament. I thought he should have probably been on the all-tournament team along with Peyton Sanford in that role. But Ben in the game against Seton Hall, he was 8 out of 10, made 3 or 4 free throws, 19 points, 5 assists, just 1 turnover. So he is just steady, is what Ben Crickey is. So at that game, Patrick McCaffery, he had a bounce-back game. Patrick didn't shoot it very well. Wasn't feeling good against Oklahoma. Felt much better on the day after Thanksgiving there against Seton Hall, and got on the boards early. Patrick did. Had 6 defensive rebounds. So always all good to see. I thought back to the young kids. Brock Harding, he had some good moments out there. He battled. There were some really good guards on both those teams. So Fran trusts these young kids. Price Sanford, Laji Dembele. I thought, looking down on my score sheet here, Laji had a good tournament out there, and that kid is not afraid of anything. He is going to battle you right to the end. So Fran's got 10 guys that he's going to use pretty consistently, a 10-person rotation with the ability to mix and match. It's not always 5 in, 5 out. He did that a little bit in this tournament, but then you mix and match. Went big with Owen Freeman and Ben Crickey in there. You can go big with Patrick, have a shooter in Sanford, and then a guard. So a lot of options for this team, and that's going to be the beauty of this season, is to the mix and match of the different players. Got to mention Tony Perkins too. Tony, he had a really tough one versus Oklahoma, and you knew he was going to come out on fire there against Seton Hall. Opening drive, he got the rebound, I think, went right down the middle. The defense didn't stop the ball. He went in and slam dunked it.
Smashed it through.
Yep.
That's Tony, though. That's his personality, and that's what the Hawks really need. That kind of physicality and defensive mindset at one end, and attack the rim at the other, and it's going to be important going forward. Not only were those two games critical in Iowa's 4-2 start, 4 wins, 2 defeats to begin the year, but now they got North Florida coming in out of the Atlantic Sun Conference. Head coach Matt Driscoll, he's been there a long time. He's a Pittsburgh native. He knows all about Big Ten and Midwestern basketball. North Florida lost to LSU last Friday, 75-63. So they gave a good Southeastern Conference program a run for its money. They're in a league with Bellarmine and Kennesaw State, Lipscomb, Stetson, North Alabama, and some really good basketball programs. The conference is housed in Atlanta, and it takes in most of the states in the southeastern United States. I guess that's why they call it the Atlantic Sun Conference.
Do you know where they're from? You know what Florida city they're in?
Well,
I looked it up today.
I'm going to guess it's North Florida.
Somewhere, Jacksonville.
At Jacksonville.
They're in Jacksonville.
The home of, Jacksonville University, I think, might be in that league, or at least the home of Artis Gilmore
You bet.
and Pembroke Burroughs. I know that brings up bad memories for guys like Stick Vidnovic and longtime Hawkeye fans, but be that as it may, North Florida is a solid program, and this will be a good test for the Hawkeyes. It's a late start, 8 o'clock on Wednesday night, and we'll be on the air, Bobby and I, at 7 o'clock for our pregame coverage, so join us then. Tonight, though, we're at the beautifully remodeled Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing out here in Coralville, and you're welcome to stop by. Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery will be here each and every week, mostly on Monday nights, but with the wild TV schedules that we are implementing in our broadcasts, we could be playing every night of the week before the year's over, and then times two. But we will have well in advance postings of when our next Hawk Talk is. As an example, next week the Hawkeyes play at number 1 ranked Purdue on Monday night, and we'll have a Hawk Talk the next night, Tuesday, right back here at the Hyatt Regency. So that's a week from tomorrow night. But typically it'll be on a Monday or a Tuesday evening. Hawk Talk each and every week will be at the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. We're also sponsored tonight by Authentic Brand. Submit an interesting question for Coach McCaffery each week via Twitter at Gary Dolphin or at Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. And you could win a $100 gift certificate for Hawkeye gear from Authentic Brand. That's right, a box of authentic merch. So get your questions in right now on Twitter at Gary Dolphin or at Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawkeyes. Coach will be with us shortly, and we'll step out, take our first break tonight, and be back in just a couple minutes. We'll take your posts, your questions, your comments for Coach McCaffery or for Bobby and I as well. So get in touch with us on Twitter at Gary Dolphin or on Facebook at Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. Back to the Hyatt Regency talking Hawkeye basketball right after this from Learfield.
I'm Ingrid Lizarraga, breast surgeon at the University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center, the state's only NCI-designated cancer center. Here, we look beyond just the type of cancer you have to discover the molecular details of the disease. We have teams dedicated to each cancer type, with treatments and trials you won't find anywhere else in Iowa. Go to uihc.org/cancer.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop and count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
Right now, new and current customers can get any phone for free at U.S. Cellular. So you can connect with all your family members this holiday season, like your snowbird grandparents, your adorable nieces, or your favorite uncle. Just think, with any phone free from U.S. Cellular, you can even call your aunt who always makes you talk to your cousin, who's a dog. Or, maybe just send her a festive text. Everyone can get the gift of connection at U.S. Cellular. Get any phone free today. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Hawk Talk tonight from the Hyatt Regency, our first program with Coach McCaffery. Thank you all for tuning in. We're on the Hawkeye YouTube channel as well. And for those of you looking in, we wave to you and say thanks for your support. Thanks for your attendance. Iowa and North Florida coming up on Wednesday night. 8 o'clock is the tip-off. We'll have a few 8 o'clock tips this year, Bobby. Different times, different start times. That's all part of TV, all part of the gig, and we'll sail through 30, 31 games and get to postseason.
Yeah, and as I saw earlier today, the coach was talking about it. Well, at least it's not 9 o'clock like we were a week ago over in Omaha. Now, that was a long day.
Oh, my. Yeah, Creighton lost a game since then. There's a lot of the top 10 teams have lost.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a precursor for what we can expect.
College basketball.
In college basketball.
There's some good ones up
year.
top, though. I was looking at that AP top 25 this afternoon and all the way down the list, and even those receiving votes. I laid around and watched a lot of basketball over the Thanksgiving holiday there while we were in San Diego. Had all these games were on.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot to do, follow the team around, but saw a lot of good teams out there and a lot of good players. And, it's different than it was 3 years ago, Gary. Now it's like it's AAU teams as they're getting guys. You had 5 new guys come into this team. There's 3 new guys. Well, I didn't know he transferred over to wherever, UConn or whoever they are. But that's the world we live in now. They go get them, and kids want to play. Welcome to the transfer portal world that we
ain't
we
going
away.
The football transfer portal reopens this weekend.
Oh my!
So it'll be a madhouse. Of course, Indiana firing its coach today, and so already they've had a dozen players leave Indiana with announced intentions to jump into the transfer portal. Basketball would be open in the spring after the season's over, but that's the world we're living in, and we will press on as well. Hawk Talk tonight with Coach McCaffery is sponsored by Wellmark. Attention Hawk fans who buy your own health insurance. Wellmark is on your side and on the health insurance marketplace. Let's give it up for plans you can afford. Check out wellmark.com/hoops and compare plans. What else impressed you about the Hawks on that West Coast swing, Bobby? Anything jump out? You mentioned the freshman. Owen Freeman has really evolved into a nice player in a lot of ways.
Yeah, he really has. And just reading Coach's comments today from his meeting with the media, follow him for a long time. So he identified that skill that he has, and he's got that toughness. He's been well coached at all his stops. Great parents. So he is bucking for more minutes, and I love the fact that Coach gives them. He trusts those young kids and leaves them out there, let them play through some tough situations. And as Fran and I talked, I don't know, a couple of games ago, he's like, you only have depth if you use it. And that resonated with me. And sometimes it's hard. You want to get your starters back in there. But when these kids are going, they're cooking. Let them go. So, you had Peyton, Cricky, Tony, Patrick, all were outstanding in the game against Seton Hall. The whole team did. And what I was impressed with, Gary, was the bounce back. I mean, here you are, you lose a tough one on Thanksgiving Day, a great holiday in America, and you had dinner. They had a team dinner, and then they got back to business. They were down there, and they were all business in their meetings, and get up and have a pregame meal, and then you got a 3 o'clock game out there in San Diego, and they came ready to play. There was no moping around, no feeling sorry for themselves. They were ready to go, and as I said, led by your senior, Tony Perkins there. I thought he set the tone with that rip and drive and dunked right there, right at the start of the game. So everybody just chipped in, and the chance to get back in California. We had USC was out there as well. I mean, a lot of hype around Bronny James. Bronny was sitting on the bench, had a lot of security around him, which is unfortunate, but the world we live in once again. And then they had a kid named DJ Rodman, Dennis Rodman Jr. Yeah, so he had a little bit of Dennis in him. I saw it in his rebounding. He doesn't have the size, but he was a transfer from...
Nor the hair or the earrings or the...
Well, I didn't look too close, but Washington State is where he transferred in from. But he helped them. He had some good moments for USC. But you look at USC, we're going to see them next year. I mean, that's West Coast. You'll be going out there, UCLA, USC, Oregon, and Washington.
Them and the Bruins, so, which is probably a good time to bring up the jet flight out there. We'll be doing a few of those.
It was nice if they can keep that thing at Global X. It was very comfortable and had plenty of room for everybody, and got us there safe and back.
You mentioned Brock Harding in our opening segment, one of those other freshmen. Watched him now for a half a dozen games. He feels like he belongs. He looks like he belongs. He's Mr. Illinois basketball. For a reason, yeah. And Fran could give us the name of the kid that, I think it was Jeremy Fears. Jack might know, but he's another good player out of somewhere down there in Springfield or something. But Brock was a guy. Brock was Mr. Basketball in Illinois, and he's a baller, to use the term thrown around in the basketball world. This kid is a gym rat, we used to call him. Maybe $160, his weight, but he doesn't back down from anybody, Gary. And his passing has been borderline spectacular. Some of his passes inside, especially to his buddy Owen Freeman, the Moline Magic, the Moline duo right there. They hook up on the lobs and kind of always knows where each other are. Laji Dembele, he's mature beyond his years. Yeah. You can see that. Speaking of fearless, he's all that.
He is, man. He was throwing his body around, too. And if a ball was on the floor, Laji's going to get down and go get it, get out of his way. So really like that about him. He makes his shots. He made a couple threes, I think, against Creighton last week. So he's got a great touch. He's a good passer. He's been well coached at the high school level, AAU level. Laji is. So it was a year ago when we went out to Seton Hall and we met Laji for the first time. Had committed that day, I believe it was. So another good find, another great find by Coach McCaffery and staff.
Yeah, we first met him at Rutgers 2 years ago when he came out to a game. He was pondering Iowa at that point, later committed thanks to the coaching staff. So, I think he's another one of those diamonds in the rough that Coach McCaffery seems to.
The worker.
Yeah, he really is. Blue collar, indeed.
Blue collar. He's out there, working on his game, working on his skills, working on his shot, ball handling, and that's what you got to do in this new world of basketball. It ain't just go out there and shoot shots. You got to work on different things in your game to improve.
How about this basketball? You mentioned basketball. The basketball they used out there for this tournament, it's a Wilson ball, got a fuzzier feel to it. It's what they used in the NCAA tournament a year ago, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised that we'll get coaches' comments on that, but why it isn't uniform throughout the entire college basketball. I know these schools have their contracts and all that, but I see Wisconsin's got that ball as well. But didn't go through the hoop too many times against Oklahoma, but it did a lot versus Seton Hall. So, yeah, I mean, a ball's a ball, but when I feel it, it's like, okay, it feels like one of them old leather balls I used to use outside where it gets a little fuzzy, and maybe it's just in my head. But
same circumference?
Yeah,
same
all
size?
the same. Yep, you bet.
Well, I mean,
ball's a ball, right?
Shoot it, it's got to go through. And if it becomes a mind game, a mindset, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, then you're in trouble. But it seemed like our misses against Oklahoma on Thursday, the Thanksgiving Day game, were short. A lot of them just fell short. I don't know if it was just rushing because of the defense that Oklahoma was playing, a physical brand of defense. Their guards were getting up underneath you, but it wasn't that way on Saturday, or Friday, I guess it was, when the second game was played against Seton Hall. They came out on fire and shot 60% in the first half, if memory serves me right.
Tricky has been Ben Cricky, excuse me. He's tricky.
Tricky.
Ben Cricky. He has done so many things well, Bobby. Here's a young guy, 6'9", about 240 pounds. He can go either way with it, but he can play inside. He can play outside. He can shoot the three. The mid-range jumper was a thing to behold, a beautiful jump shot that he just reined in at Creighton. His whole game, a good rebounder. What impresses you most about him?
I'd like his veteran maturity. I think I like his that mid-range shot. Pulled Kalkbrenner away from the rim, so it opened up the rim as by design. And if you don't hit those shots, it doesn't look too good. But he was draining them, and he looked like the best big man on the floor over there in Omaha. But Ben is just a wily veteran. He knows how to pass the basketball as well. He's going to step up there and make his fair share of free throws. Love his toughness. Doesn't come out of the game. Doesn't seem to get rattled by much that's thrown at him. So he just got that certain toughness that you got to have when it comes to Big Ten basketball.
Yeah, he certainly is a veteran, and he carries himself so well. He's played a lot of basketball. Bobby mentioned the Wisconsin game tonight using that basketball, that Wilson basketball. Let's go to our U.S. Bank scoreboard before we step out and take a break. The Badgers are up by 14 on Western Illinois, 48-34. A couple of other Big Ten teams in action. Northwestern has a 26-20 lead on Northern Illinois. That is midway through the first half. The Wisconsin-Western game is halfway through the second period. And 5 minutes into the second half, it's Rutgers up on St. Peter's 40-23. Some Big Ten teams in action on this Monday night. Hawks play next on Wednesday against North Florida. 7 o'clock for the pregame, 8 o'clock for the tip here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Tonight's Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery is sponsored by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And by U.S. Cellular. As a proud sponsor of the Hawkeyes, U.S. Cellular wants you to make the most of today by choosing game day traditions first and scrolling later. U.S. Cellular is built for us. Back to the Hyatt Regency in just a minute. The Hyatt Regency, we're happy to say, is our home again this year for Hawk Talk. You can join us for Hawk Talk at the Regency, Hyatt Regency in Coralville's restaurant, and watch the show live each week. Matt and the gang here is offering a special food menu, including favorites like steak fries, as well as new cocktails and a $3 draft special. Come on down to Hyatt Regency Coralville and join us for a great evening of chatter, food, drink, and fun on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery. Back in just a minute. This is Hawk Talk from Learfield.
They're only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop and count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Right now, new and current customers can get any phone for free at U.S. Cellular. So you can connect with all your family members this holiday season, like your snowbird grandparents, your adorable nieces, or your favorite uncle. Just think, with any phone free from U.S. Cellular, you can even call your aunt who always makes you talk to your cousin, who's a dog. Or, maybe just send her a festive text. Everyone can get the gift of connection at U.S. Cellular. Get any phone free today. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spahn & Rose like GAF. Use the Spon and Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spon and Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spon and Rose, buy easier, build better.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not so smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through.
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel. Good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
If you're looking for the perfect place to host your holiday party, look no further. Come to Bumps at Finkbine. Have a good time as our new chef, Rick McCombs, provides an unforgettable experience. Don't forget about Thirsty Thursday Super Social Hour, where Bumps offers buy one, get one free on domestic beer bottles, house wine, well cocktails, and appetizers. Not only is Bumps the ideal spot for Hawkeye pre-gaming, they also offer a fantastic Sunday brunch. Bumps is your one-stop spot for great food and a great time. Go to finkbine.com for more information.
Hawkeye basketball coming up on Wednesday night here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. For tonight, we're at the Hyatt Regency Coralville, the beautiful Iowa River Landing. Second year that we've been able to bring the show out here, and it's nice to double up with Coach Bluter's show preceding our show. And now Coach Fran McCaffery has joined us. Welcome to a new season. I know we're 6 games in, but it's always fun to come out here on a Monday night, Tuesday night, or whenever we're here, Coach.
Yeah, it is. It's great to be with you guys, and we have our usual crew here with us. It's great
Good to see him. I haven't seen him all summer.
Yeah, family. Well, Rick comes to practice every day. He didn't show up today, though, so he's got to run sprints tomorrow.
Run some Carver steps.
Maybe he had a few acres of corn left to get in, or beans, maybe to put in the barn, or
nothing. He's done. He said.
The dryer. You're done, Rick?
No excuses.
Done with the harvest. Okay. All right. Well, welcome, and you can miss practice, but don't miss our show. Okay, on Monday night. Fran, a couple games in San Diego, a great tournament for Rady's Children's Hospital, Oklahoma, and then Seton Hall, 2 quality opponents. What pleased you the most?
Well, I think it was a great opportunity to grow as a team, to especially get these young guys playing time against 2 really good teams. Both of those teams really defend. They're very physical, man-to-man teams. They had size, so we had to rebound. We rebounded, to answer your question, we rebounded well against both of those teams. We obviously didn't shoot it well against Oklahoma, but rebounding, gave us a chance. They had 20 offensive rebounds in a previous game before ours, and they're averaging, in the high teens. So they've been dominating people on the glass, and I think we out-rebounded them that night. Kept us in it. It's hard to win when you start the game 1 for 20 from 3. We are typically a pretty good shooting team. We didn't shoot it well that night, but some individual performances were really good, and then they responded in short order, because you have to go back to the hotel and flush one and get ready for the other one. So you're throwing a lot of information at them in a very short period of time. So we had multiple meetings, and the kids were really locked in.
Kind of an NCAA tournament.
They're very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even in the NCAA, you have a day off.
Yeah, good point.
So this was right back at it. And, initially they were talking about us playing Thursday night, Friday afternoon. And clearly we put the kibosh on that. Yeah. That's not even healthy.
Invitation to injuries.
Again, it has to do with, our football team was playing, Oklahoma's football team was playing, and they're trying to maximize, that window of fans. So it all worked out fine.
So, Coach, your overall, that was an inaugural event, I believe.
Yes.
This one was. What's your overall feeling of that, or maybe having more tournaments as they rotate teams through? But Hawkeye fans showed up as well. They were out there.
Well, our fan base out there was really excited to have us. We had an iClub event on Wednesday at the hotel, the San Diego iClub, and some folks also came down from the LA, Isaiah Scales and his wife Jess. They came down. They run the LA iClub. So talked to a number of folks who are thrilled that we're going to be coming out there at least once a year. Eventually it might be twice, but that might be obviously north in Oregon and Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a great opportunity for our players to meet some of our alums out there and mingle. But the truth of the matter is, those tournaments are for the fans. They're always in destination locations, whether it be Madison Square Garden in New York, or we've been to where? St. Thomas, the Cayman Islands,
Emerald Classic,
Battle for Atlantis down in the Bahamas. That's where they are, and it was very well presented. Like if you went outside during when all the games were going on, they had bands going and food trucks and games and things like that. It was very festive. For us, we might as well have been in Toledo. We go to the hotel, we grind, we watch tape, and we go play the game. Doesn't matter. But the fans really appreciated it, and we made the big run against Seton Hall in the second half, and the Let's Go Hawks chant was pretty impressive. And it's not uncommon when we go on the road, and it's much appreciated, I can tell you that.
Have you been to Toledo?
A couple times.
I've been there a couple times. Nice city.
I've been recruiting. I went recruiting in Toledo. That's about it.
Yeah. Home of the, they're a quality MAC team. They've been in the MAC for a lot of years.
And the former Iowa City resident, Michael Bryan, was a long-time AD.
And actually, we used to talk a lot because he was what they do is they have an administrator who is sort of a regional person for the NCAA tournament. So he's on the NCAA selection committee, but he gets to know all the coaches and all the teams in that area. So he was very positive, and got to know me really well. And Todd Kowalczyk's a good friend. He's the coach at Toledo. Really good coach.
He is.
Good guy. We served together on the NCAA Ethics Coalition for a number of years.
Mike's a really good guy, too.
Mike's retired now. Congratulations.
He's retired. I got a text from him recently.
Iowa City native, too, I think.
Yes, he is.
We're at the all-new Hyatt Regency Coralville, and it's freshly renovated spaces. Stay in new modern guest room overlooking the river, or check out the state-of-the-art fitness center, pool, and family lounge, and their new cafe serving Starbucks coffee. Come discover all these updates and more on your next Iowa City trip and cheer on the Hawks. That's where we're at tonight at the Hyatt Regency with Coach McCaffery each and every week. You can reach Fran on Twitter at Gary Dolphin, or on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawkeyes. So, Coach, let's take a couple off Twitter here. Wilson says, hey, Fran, what skills would you say are greater on this year's team compared to maybe last year's team? Are there any?
Well, we're just way deeper.
You're bigger, too, right?
We're bigger. Last year we did not have a lot of size. Luckily, Philip, Chris, and Connor were able to handle that and keep us in the NCAA tournament and keep us in games where we could rebound, even though they were playing extended minutes. Rarely will you look at my teams and say, okay, you're 3, 4, and 5, played 3,000 minutes. That's a lot, because your concern is obviously fatigue and they wear down, but your bigger concern is somebody gets hurt. For sure. If Philip had gotten hurt last year, it would have been devastating. If Chris had gotten hurt, it would have been the same thing with Connor. Those guys were just too valuable to our ability not only to rebound, but to defend other teams. Like you look at Indiana with Race and Trace. That's two big, strong guys. They're both in their 5th or 6th year. And but you go, team by team. So this year we have some flexibility. We go with Owen and Lodgy. Move Ben to the 4. We can play different guys at the 5 spot. I haven't given Evan Braun's much of an opportunity yet, but he's ready to go. I could play him. He's one of our top 11. But I think that's the thing I like the most about this team. They all play well together. They're all incredibly unselfish. And I have tremendous versatility. Even a guy like Peyton, who starts at the 4 spot, I played him at the 2 spot some. With Tony in the backcourt, Tony plays more than one guard position. Patrick, same thing in the forward position. So we have a lot of ways we can go, and hopefully nobody will get hurt. But if somebody did, we could survive it.
Coach, and one young man we haven't spent enough time on, I know you always bring him up, is Josh Dix. I mean, he's sort of the glue guy with that group out there, and I thought he had a really good Seton Hall game here. He was almost perfect, 3 out of 4 from the field, made his three-point field goal, both the free throws, 3 rebounds, and no turnovers.
He's probably our best perimeter defender, not only in terms of his ability to stay in front of you, but to be physical, and then also get a traffic rebound. But again, those guys aren't typically ones that can also play the point, who can also make threes. He does all of that. So, I kind of consider him as a star. Even when I haven't been starting him, I kind of consider him as a starter. And he's going to be somebody that plays a lot. And he's just going to keep getting better. I mean, he's had a tremendous summer, tremendous fall. And what you saw in that game, you're right, Bobby, it was really special. His performance in that game was really special.
It was. I mean, he splashed that first 3 down, didn't he, I think?
Really good pass, skip to the corner, but, you were there. You could see how athletic that team was. And so you've got to be able to guard those guys, and he's capable of doing that. And that was a smash-mouth game, so you've got to be able to traffic rebound if you want to run, and we want to run and get out in transition. So you've got to be able to do all of that, and he can.
Looking at the stats today, I didn't realize it. I mean, I look at stats all the time, but Peyton Sanford, your leading rebounder, averaged almost 8 rebounds a game. That's a lot for, I look at Peyton as a guard, I guess. He's probably a forward. But.
Well, to his credit, he recognized that, with that lineup, he's got a rebound. Patrick had 6 in the last game. Ben, he was in there wrestling with the big kid from
Bediako.
He's a handful.
He
was 6'11" and long, but also about 265. So a lot of times Ben was front screening him, unable to get the rebound. So then the rebounds had to get taken by somebody else.
Yeah.
Because he, we talk about tag and pursue the ball. But when you have 265 pushing you under the basket, nothing could happen. So if you front screen him and keep him out there, then the other guys can get the rebound, and then we can run. And then we made the big dude at 265. Okay, now you got to change ends because you got Ben by about 30 pounds, but you can't keep up with him in the open floor.
Coach, Bobby and I were talking about prior to your arrival about how impressed we've been with Laji Dembele and how we first met him at, I think it was Rutgers game, and then he came out to the Seton Hall game a year ago. But talk about a kid mature beyond his years, or at least he carries himself so well.
Well, he is. I mean, think about his journey, Dolph. I mean, he comes from Mali, and he and his brother, his brother, by the way, was at the tournament, so it was great to see him. I had never met him.
Good deal.
But he played at UNLV, and he's actually bigger than Laji, if you can believe that. But they look very similar and just a real gentleman, so it was great to see him.
Go talk about that journey a little bit. How does one leave, and what age do they leave West Africa and Mali?
Well, he leaves West Africa, Bobby, then he goes to Barcelona.
Yeah.
He was there for 4 years. Then he ends up in
You got to be, what, 15?
Yeah.
14 years old.
And then he goes to Newark, New Jersey. I mean, you talk about 3 dramatically different places. Now, I will tell you this. The people that he was with in Newark were good people. And people, one of the reasons we got him is we know those folks. Like, we know the coach, or we know the assistant coach. And it's a legitimate high school situation, which, quite honestly, sometimes now they're not. There are these fake schools that all they do is train kids, and they all think they're going to the pros, and it's not something I agree with, but you can go to those places. St. Benedict's they're serious about academics. They're serious about basketball. They play a big-time schedule. And
is that located near the Prudential Center there, Fran?
Not too far.
Not far.
You know where it's right near NJIT, University of New Jersey Institute of Technology, who went Division I about 15, 17 years ago. So it's right there, and Seton Hall Law School is right there. Seton Hall Law School is in Newark. And so then St. Benedict's is right there. So it's a nice part of Newark with a couple of universities and the high school. It's a nice piece of property. The headmaster is a priest, and he does not mess around. He is on top of things. So for Lodgy, coming from the background we talked about, it was great for him, academically, socially, athletically. There's discipline, there's things being taught. So when he gets here, he can actually do the work. And he's a bright kid. And it was interesting because you think about it, when he was in Africa, he spoke his native African language, but also they taught, in the schools, they taught French. So he speaks French.
Wow.
He and my wife, Margaret, talk French to each other whenever they're together. So now
Cool.
you have...
I love the language.
So then he goes to Spain. Huh? Speak French. You don't talk French. I've been corrected.
Hey, there's no talking French, huh? Come on, New Jersey.
Freddie. Come on. So
Salminio.
But then he goes to Spain and he's speaking Spanish. Then he comes to New Jersey, he's speaking English in school, but he lived in community with a group of Spanish-speaking people.
Wow.
So it wasn't until he got here where everything is English.
That's amazing.
And it's really helped.
Other than when he's with Margaret.
Other than when he's with Margaret.
Yeah.
They talk French.
I think that
He had another young man, I'm going to dive into him. I've been looking at Chris Taggio, I think is how you pronounce it. I mean, he's got quite the journey as well. I mean, talk about an hour later. But
his journey has been beyond amazing.
Yeah.
He came over in a container.
No.
Yeah. So, this is one special young man. I mean, he is smart, he is tough, and one of the most pleasant people that you'll ever meet. So positive and always smiling. But when the game starts, he's an absolute assassin, which is what you want. I mean, he plays so hard on every possession.
How'd you find him, Fran? NBA Global Academy in Mexico City.
The NBA Academy is an incredible organization, Bobby. They do a terrific job. So Brian Cardinal, who played at Purdue, played 14 years in the NBA?
Heck of a player.
He works for them. And there's other folks. Greg Colucci was very much involved. But, I mean, I had friends of mine I grew up with who were college coaches in the States, grew up in Philadelphia. A friend of mine, Roland Houston, he works for NBA Academy in Senegal. So he lives in Senegal.
How many academies are there?
I don't know the number,
10?
but they're like Chris is presently in Mexico City, so he plays in Mexico City. So they're all over So matter of fact, when Patrick was invited to a USA basketball event at the Final Four, I'm going to say 6 years ago. The NBA Academy was there, so you had NBA Africa, you had NBA China, you had NBA Australia, you had NBA Europe. So you had all these different teams, and all these different coaches, and they do a really good job teaching them, training them, and they also go to school. So you think about it, Chris, he's from Africa and has been around, but now he's living in Mexico City. But his English is really good. He also speaks French.
Is he Canadian, Fran?
He ended up in Canada.
Yeah.
So that's where they saw him. So we saw him in Memphis, Tennessee. So all of those NBA Academy teams went to Memphis. They had a big event. They brought the top AAU teams from all the different shoe companies, and they brought all the top players from the NBA Academy and a few others. About 400 kids, and they play in what they call an NCAA. They call it the NCAA Academy. So we were down there watching all these teams, and we saw him.
How do you identify him? Just pick him out of there, like, that kid can play. There were probably over 20 courts. So my question.
My whole staff was there.
Holy moly.
Okay, so my whole staff was there. So I'm watching this team, this game, this guy, and Jerm's watching this, and then Matt Gatins and then Courtney. So Courtney comes and says, "Coach, you got to come with me. We're going to watch this kid play. I think he's pretty good." So we go over, watch him. There was other guys in the game that we knew about. We didn't know about Chris. And after about 10 minutes, I said, okay, we can get this kid. Let's go get him.
You've got an amazing eye for talent, Fran.
It was easy, Bobby. You never know exactly how good they're going to be, but when you look at a guy who's 6'8", 225, who's flying around, playing hard, attacking the rim, dunking the ball, but can make a play off the dribble, can hit a three, and knows how to play with 4 other people, it was a no-brainer. So then we reached out because Brian Cardinal was there.
Yeah.
And we said, Brian, okay, we love this kid. He says, he's terrific.
Corey says we got to take a break. I got 8 more questions on skill development and finding those guys. I love how you find talent.
You guys haven't forgotten about me sitting over here, have you?
You're still in football.
You're a football guy.
Marshall Meter from 35?
Marshall Meter.
We got a championship game on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's what you're getting ready for.
That's it. Brian Cardinal, the guy that every fan base in the Big Ten loved to hate. He'd come in with those elbows.
His dad was a trainer,
What
I
a
think.
player.
His dad was the trainer at Illinois.
Yeah. I think he
Rob.
intentionally had a bad comb over just so he could upset the student bodies. They were getting on him, but boy, could he play.
He play, when you play that long in the NBA,
14 years?
Yeah, you're special.
I didn't know he played 14 years. I knew he was approaching 10, but
it might have been 15. I mean,
He
we'd
played
have to look it
a long
up.
time.
heck of a
Not quite
player.
LeBron at 19 years.
Heck of
20 years.
a Boilermaker. Back with more with Coach McCaffery and Bobby Hansen. Hawk Talk with the coach is presented by the Hyatt Regency here in Coralville. It continues after this. You're listening to Hawk Talk from Learfield.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Right now, new and current customers can get any phone for free at US Cellular. So you can connect with all your family members this holiday season, like your snowbird grandparents, your adorable nieces, or your favorite uncle. Just think, with any phone free from US Cellular, you can even call your aunt who always makes you talk to your cousin, who's a dog. Or maybe just send her a festive text. Everyone can get the gift of connection at US Cellular. Get any phone free today. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/corngrowsiowa. 'Iowa.
We're back on Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. Thank you all for coming out tonight here, live and in person. We're here each week. Again, our next show will be a week from tomorrow. The Hawks and Purdue get after each other next Monday night down at Mackey Arena. Iowa and North Florida coming up on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock for the pregame coverage here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Fran, what's the snapshot of North Florida? What impresses you about Coach Driscoll's team?
They shoot a ton of threes. Over 50% of their shots are threes.
I saw they took 30 the other night against LSU.
They've taken 35 in a game. But they've got drivers, too. And they have a deep team. I've been impressed with them. They got some really good players. But the guys he brings off the bench are really good as well. They're not a shallow bunch. He's probably got at least 11 guys he can go with.
They're 4-3. They are led by a pair of double-figure scorers. Chaz Lanier is averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds. He's made 22 threes on the year, Coach.
Chaz is special. He's got game. He can go off the bounce. He's athletic. He can stop behind a screen and pull and shoot a three. He's got really good feel.
90% free thrower.
Yeah, he's a gamer.
Right away, I thought of Bob Lanier whenever I see that name.
Chaz Lanier. Yeah.
Chaz Lanier. It's Matt Driscoll's in his 15th season, Coach. He's been there a long time. Pittsburgh guy. I'm sure you've crossed paths with Matt before.
Well, we've played him twice here, but I've known him for years. I mean, he's a lifer. Been in the business a long time. Very well respected. Assistant coach for a number of years, and then became the head coach there. Really knows what he's doing.
And Coach, how do these games get scheduled? I mean, it's got to be almost a Rubik's Cube or some sort of puzzle.
It's just putting a puzzle together. They need a game, we need a game. We have the date. You try to balance your home and road, and when you're coming back from your MTE, and when your league games start, and do you have challenge games? I mean, it's always not a lot of fun. But
you just have a big chart in your office, and just kind of.
Well, the hard thing is.
Calendar.
We don't get our schedule until Big Ten schedule until August. So you have to keep windows open. Okay, so we know the first week of December we're going to play two league games. Is it going to be Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, or what? You don't know. So then you don't know exactly when you can schedule these other games. So there's a lot of conversation going back and forth with Al Seibert and Brad Taylor from the conference. And then you have multiple conversations with whoever at the other institutions handle scheduling. So Al knows all those guys and hey, Iowa needs a game in late November. They need a game in early December. So then you start talking back and forth, and then you make it work.
Coach, let's go to Facebook. Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks for Coach McCaffery. Jeff wants to know, Fran, basically 10 players saw playing time in San Diego. Did you accomplish everything you wanted to, including different combinations of players on the court? Thank you, and go Hawks.
I think we did. I always want to get more playing time for the young guys. I think I said a little while ago, I'm really wishing I can get Evan Braun some playing time. And I would like to have gotten Price Sanford a little more playing time in the second game. But, I was able to get Owen, Lodgy, Brock substantial minutes, Josh Dix, DeSante. I played Josh Dix more than I did DeSante in the last game. Those things happen through the course of a season, when you're playing a schedule like that. And then you got to get your key guys out there and your veteran guys and make sure that they get the minutes that they need and get to play together. But ultimately, I want to make sure that all of those guys can play together and not just, it's not like I have a first unit and a second unit. I put a couple guys in and I wasn't subbing 5 for 5.
Eugene, also on Facebook, in conjunction with Drew's question, Coach, will you narrow your rotation for the Big Ten season?
Maybe not. It depends on how things unfold over these next handful of games. But again, one game from now we're playing the Big Ten schedule.
That's right.
We're at Purdue. So I'll play those guys in that game, and then we'll see how the game goes.
Great environment. Let's step out, pause 10 seconds for station identification. We're at the top of the hour. We're at the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. Beautifully remodeled Hyatt Regency in Coralville on Hawk Talk. 10-second ID break here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa, North Florida, coming up Wednesday night at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Tickets are available. You can walk right up to the ticket office come Wednesday and join us for a big night of basketball on Wednesday with an 8 o'clock start, 7 o'clock pregame. Now a 10-second ID break. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery. And welcome back. We'll take a break, come back with more Hawk Talk with Bobby Hansen, Coach McCaffery, and me, Gary Dolphin, right after this pause on Hawk Talk from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
Right now, new and current customers can get any phone for free at US Cellular. So you can connect with all your family members this holiday season, like your snowbird grandparents, your adorable nieces, or your favorite uncle. Just think, with any phone free from US Cellular, you can even call your aunt who always makes you talk to your cousin, who's a dog. Or maybe just send her a festive text. Everyone can get the gift of connection at US Cellular. Get any phone free today. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oaknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Welcome back to the Hyatt Regency. Gary Dolphin, Bobby Hansen, and Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. We're here each and every week on Hawk Talk. This is our maiden voyage tonight. Breakfast with Santa is back. Want to get that in there. It is the holidays. Breakfast with Santa at the Hyatt Regency Coralville happens December 16th. This family-friendly breakfast includes a photo with Santa and Mrs. Claus, a holiday crafts show, and all your breakfast favorites. To make your reservation, and you should do that, visit the Hyatt Regency Coralville Facebook page or by calling 319-887-5004. 319-887-5004. Iowa, North Florida, 8 o'clock Wednesday night over at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Hope you can be there. Bring your radio and listen on the Hawkeye Radio Network, 7 o'clock for the pregame show. Let's go back to Twitter for Coach McCaffery. Sam, Fran, wants to know, give us an update on where Connor is at. Heard you talking about Connor. Where is he and what's he doing?
Yeah, he's with the Indiana Pacers. So he is essentially an internship, a coaching internship, which is great because he gets to go to practice every day.
Yeah.
He actually practices with the team, so he'll be on the scout team. He will work the guys out individually, and then he will do some computer work with game preparation, code games. They require a lot of information, so you got to know what you're looking at, and then you work directly with the assistant coaches on that. So, you know, he's getting essentially a PhD in coaching. You know, you have Rick Carlisle, he's a Hall of Fame coach.
For sure.
And then you have, Jim Boylan, who was coach at Utah, worked at Michigan State, was the head coach of the Bulls, worked for Popovich with the Spurs. I mean, he's terrific. Actually, his nephew, Matthew, is one of our student managers. And then Lloyd Pierce, worked with Doc Rivers in Philly, was the head coach of the Atlanta Hawks. So you've got quite a bit of experience there that he's learning from. So it's a tremendous opportunity.
I see they dropped 154 on somebody the other night. They're taking that Iowa running game and showing them what to do.
Yeah. They have a really good young team.
Tyrese
Halliburton's playing.
You've always
great.
liked him, Fran. I remember you pointed him out.
I always loved
State.
his game. Miles Turner, Buddy Hield. I mean, they got some dudes now, and they got some veteran guys like McConnell, and they've got a good mixture, and they've got professionals. It's and Connor's been really impressed with the entire organization. Of course, Chad Buchanan is an Iowa guy. He's a terrific general manager, and
Mike Bourne's one of their scouts. I think lives in Norwalk there.
Yes, he does.
You know Jimmy Boylan well, Bobby.
Not really. I know when Fran mentioned
when he was at the Bulls.
No, it was after my time. But he's a heck of a coach. I mean, they've got a great brain trust there. And Fran was talking about these young guys they learned out in Portland. I think a lot of those guys. Buchanan was out there.
Yeah, he was with the Trailblazers. Yes, he was.
Yeah, I hired him when I was running the Bulls kids camps, and Chad was one of my young guys that send him anywhere around the city of Chicago. He'd go outdoors, indoors. He didn't care. It's fun to work.
Yeah, he's just a great guy, a tremendous personality, and we actually went to a game a couple weeks ago. Margaret and I and Jack spent some time with Chad, and it was fun.
One more here off Twitter. This is our Authentic Brand winner tonight. Thanks to Authentic Brand for the $100 gift certificate. Authentic Brand is a proud partner, not only outfitting our broadcast team, Bobby and I, but outfitting thousands of fans on game day at Carver Hawkeye Arena. For game day and every day, an officially licensed Hawkeye apparel and accessories from Authentic Brand. Mary is the winner tonight. Coach, she says, I'm so very impressed with the confidence the freshmen are playing with and the aggressive manner they are playing. Have you ever had a group come in collectively and contribute right away like this fearsome foursome has?
Well, I did when I was at Siena. It was a special group. Mm-hmm. This is a little bit of a different level. But again, I think the real question for those guys is going to be, and I'm not worried at all because I know who they are. I know the character of these guys. I know their mental toughness. It doesn't matter if we're playing teams in the league or teams not in the league. And we saw it against Creighton, against Oklahoma, and against Seton Hall, all those guys. And I think that's what Mary was referencing. It's not like, okay, they did it against somebody that everybody felt like they should do it against. Although I would tell you this, everybody talks about upsets. I don't know what's an upset anymore. Mm-hmm. There's so much parity in college basketball. There's so many transfers. There's so many old teams. Guys are in their 4th, 5th, and 6th year. Because every night there's what you would think as an upset, but they're really not. So
teams are all up tempo too. It seems like, Fran. A lot more threes being shot.
I think the analytics tells you, go and shoot threes, let it go, and then fly around and go back and get it. You know,
kick it back out.
Kick it back out, shoot another 3.
Yeah, no,
pass
crazy.
up on a layup and shoot another 3.
Oh yeah.
Bobby and I were talking before you got here about all the upsets already in the top 10, and I think it goes to your comment about transfers and veteran players everywhere.
Well, you know, I think a lot of people felt like when the transfer portal came into play, that it was going to be all the really good mid-major players transferring up. You know, kind of like junior college players used to transfer to the big schools. Well, now it's low and mid-major Division I players transferring up. But at the same time, now you have the 7th or 8th man it says, wait a minute, I don't want to play 14, 15 minutes. I want to play 38. So they transfer. So the transfers go both ways. And I think that's what we're seeing. But every time I prepare for somebody, well, they've got 8 new guys, they've got 7 new guys. That was never the case before.
New guy, Cooper Koch, legacy player, heck of a player. Talked to his dad, J.R.
He had as good a summer as anybody in the country. He was very fortunate. You know, when you're figuring out what AAU team you're going to play for, sometimes it works, sometimes it kind of works, sometimes He had the perfect team. He had very unselfish guards, very unselfish players. A guy who was arguably the top player in the class. And they had so much fun. They very rarely lost. What's that? Yeah, they went 106 and 7 in 3 years.
106 and 7.
Jack McCaffery providing
from the analytics department.
Statistician. Jack.
He's our analytics expert. But you know that's hard to do.
Yeah.
And you know,
Sure
some nights, you know, Coop would be the leading scorer, and other nights he would be more efficient moving without the ball. And
What's his position,
passes.
Fran? Where would you play him?
You can play him in a lot of different places, but you know, the way you would probably describe him is a stretch 4. But he could play the 3. I mean, he could play the 2 spot. Like, he's smart. You could put him in different places to get him shots. He's as good a shooter as there is going to be in college basketball.
I was impressed with him.
And he's 6'9", so he can get a shot off.
JR was a good shooter for a 7-foot dude.
Well, he reminds me a little bit of like Klay Thompson in the sense that, you know, Klay runs around and gets 30 and dribbles the ball 8 times. and Coop's a little bit like that. But if you overextend, he rips and takes 2 dribbles and dunks it. You know, it goes and lays it up. And if he's covered, he moves it. Like, he really understands the game and how it's supposed to be played and how to play with 4 other people and how the momentum of the game is going. And
for those that want to follow
him,
Fran, where's he at? I know he went. JR told me he moved high school.
Yeah, no,
Metamora.
Yeah, that's where he is now.
Now, okay.
Down around Peoria.
We follow Metamora.
Yeah.
It's in that area, I think JR told me.
Yeah. And his brother Sam transferred as well. So.
Okay.
I was going to ask you how tall he is. I met him at the Chris Street outing this summer, and he just looks straight up.
Yeah.
He is a specimen. He really carries himself well.
And I mean, just as you would imagine, knowing
JR.
the Koches, okay, he's just a spectacular young man. You know, like, and we got to know him really well. Of course, he used to come to our camp since he was really little. So we got to know him well, and then we started recruiting him early, and you know, and made it known that, like, okay, we really want you. It's not like we love your dad, we know your dad was great here, and I recruited his dad when I was at Notre Dame, and you know, this isn't we're all friends and we're pretending to want you. Like, hey. Like, you can commit to us right now in 7th grade if you want to.
7th grade.
Like Matt Gaydens.
Yeah.
Close to that anyway.
Dean Oliver.
Dean Oliver. Got to take a break, guys. We'll come back in a minute. We're at the Hyatt Regency. Experience the all-new Hyatt Regency Coralville and its freshly renovated spaces. Stay in the new modern guest rooms overlooking the river. Check out the state-of-the-art fitness center, pool, and family lounge, and their new cafe serving Starbucks. Come discover all these updates and more on your next Iowa City trip to cheer on the Hawks. Wednesday night, Iowa, North Florida, right here on the Hawkeye Radio Network, starting at 7 o'clock. We're back with more Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery in just a minute. This is Hawk Talk from Learfield.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spot & Rose like GAF. Use the Spot and Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spot and Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spot and Rose, buy easier, build better.
Right now, new and current customers can get any phone for free at US Cellular. So you can connect with all your family members this holiday season, like your snowbird grandparents, your adorable nieces, or your favorite uncle. Just think, with any phone free from US Cellular, you can even call your aunt who always makes you talk to your cousin, who's a dog. Or maybe just send her a festive text. Everyone can get the gift of connection at US Cellular. Get any phone free today. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/corn grows Iowa.
If you're looking for the perfect place to host your holiday party, look no further. Come to Bumps at Finkbine. Have a good time as our new chef, Rick McCombs, provides an unforgettable experience. Don't forget about Thirsty Thursday Super Social Hour, where Bumps offers buy one, get one free on domestic beer bottles, house wine, well cocktails, and appetizers. Not only is Bumps the ideal spot for Hawkeye pre-gaming, they also offer a fantastic Sunday brunch. Bumps is your one-stop spot for great food and a great time. Go to finkbine.com for more information.
Hawk Talk rolls on here from the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. Thanks for tuning in on our opening show tonight. We'll be here a week from tomorrow night, next Tuesday, at 7 o'clock for Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery. Let's take a U.S. Bank scoreboard break here. Three other Big Ten teams in action tonight. Wisconsin defeated Western Illinois 71-49. Rutgers tops St. Peter's 71-40. And Northwestern has a 10-point lead on Northern Illinois, a future Hawkeye opponent. Good game over in Evanston, 62-52 with 13 minutes left to go in that game. Fourth-ranked UConn beat up on New Hampshire tonight, 84-64. And in Monday Night Football, a real barn burner up at U.S. Bank Stadium, the Bears lead the Vikings 3-0. And they're nearing halftime. That's our U.S. Bank scoreboard update. And we're back with more questions for Coach McCaffery in just a minute. This is Hawk Talk from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bose, pediatric neurologist with the University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
Right now, new and current customers can get any phone for free at US Cellular. So you can connect with all your family members this holiday season, like your snowbird grandparents, your adorable nieces, or your favorite uncle. Just think, with any phone free from US Cellular, you can even call your aunt who always makes you talk to your cousin, who's a dog. Or maybe just send her a festive text. Everyone can get the gift of connection at US Cellular. Get any phone free today. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk, our remaining moments with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery, presented by the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. And we are looking forward to an entire winter of Big Ten basketball, collegiate basketball with the Hawkeyes here at the Hyatt Regency, discussing hopefully victories just won and looking ahead to some of the quality opponents that not only Iowa will be playing on the road, but those that come to Carver Hawkeye Arena. Back to Twitter, at Gary Dolphin. Interesting question here, Coach, from Brandon. I was really impressed with the Hawks in the Creighton game. What that loss show you about your team, especially the freshmen?
Well, it showed me they don't rattle on the road. That was a hostile environment. You guys were there. It was loud. It was full. And they did what they do. They were able to control their emotions and execute the game plan. As we've talked, not on this show, but we've talked about it privately. We had that one little stretch where we were quick shooting the ball, which happens on the road sometimes.
Started in the second half.
Yeah, and again, when you go back and look at the film, it's like, wow, that wasn't really a horrible shot. That wasn't really, but it was quick. So if they're hitting threes and they're getting some runouts, you've got to keep them on defense for a while. Even if we're getting good shots. So the offense was working. We weren't turning it over, but we weren't keeping them on defense. Get a foul, get an N1, long possession, get a wide open three, and then they're not running it back at you. Now granted, they hit 4 threes in a row.
Yeah.
That always hurts, but then we came back. If the foul was called on Peyton in the corner, which it should have been, he's shooting 3. Now we're down 2 with a minute to go.
Tony says he got a clean strip too.
That was
before that, wasn't it?
That was really clean. Yeah. I mean, but over the course of a game, I was more upset. There was 2. Patrick fouled the guy on purpose, and they gave him an N1. I mean, he hit the guy. He knew. Okay, they throw it to him. He hits the guy. We have a foul to give. Your players know. Sure, we have fouls to give. I got Kalkbrenner here. He's 7'1", 255. Patrick gets caught on a switch. He rotates over and hammers the guy. Take the ball to bounce on the side. No, he gave him an N1. It was the worst continuation I've seen. But again, it's 2 calls. 2 calls.
And with all that, you come back within 5. You're down, 15 at one point in the second half.
Yeah.
Come back within 2 possessions.
Yeah.
And that
So
really was impressive.
if we at least would have gotten that call and Peyton's 3 out of the corner, then we take our shot.
Yeah.
He makes 3 free throws, we press. They've got to get it over the 10-second line. We decide if we want to foul or not. Go from there.
Go from there, yeah. We haven't talked about DeSante Bowen leading the nation, I think. Did I read that today? Or read that correctly? 5-to-1 assist to turnovers.
Well, he started 17-1. That's pretty good.
There you go.
And
17-1.
The thing that I like about him is, he can score. Sometimes he holds on to it a little bit because he's trying to be sure. I think once he's way better, because, in high school, he was always been a scorer. And now we're asking him to be more of a distributor, and he's as good a person as I've ever coached. So he wants to do what this team needs him to do. But it's like you never want your guys to not be who they are. Like, he can get in the lane. He can get to the rim. He can score on his guy. So you still want him to have that sort of aggressive mindset. It's finding that balance that's always not easy. And I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're old or young. But he's really working, and he will grind on defense too.
He's been very impressive here in the first 6-8 games of the season. Iowa Corn is a great sponsor of Hawkeye basketball, has been for many years. We thank the folks at Iowa Corn and the Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series, promoting values that are uniquely Iowan. On behalf of Iowa's corn farmers, we salute all athletes for their hard work and determination, both on and off the field. And just like our athletes, our state leads the nation in corn and ethanol production. Follow Iowa Corn on Facebook and learn how corn grows Iowa. And thanks to Travel Leaders Destinations Unlimited, the Hawkeyes are headed to a bowl. Not sure where yet, but of course a lot depends on the Big Ten championship game Saturday night with the Michigan Wolverines. But the Hawks are bowl eligible. Travel Leaders Destinations Unlimited is Iowa's leader for game tickets, air travel, and hotel. Sign up to automatically receive official bowl travel information at HawkeyeSports.com/Bowl Central. Iowa basketball in North Florida, again 7 o'clock for the pregame show, 8 o'clock for the tip-off. On this Wednesday night, 48 hours from now, the Hawkeyes try to get to 5-2. Before we leave, guys, good luck to Kirk and the football team. A 7 o'clock tip or a 7 o'clock kick Saturday night here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. And our boy Brands, the Brands brothers, won their 19th in a row over the Cyclones yesterday. 19 straight, yeah. At Hilton Coliseum, a raucous Hilton Coliseum.
Yeah.
And congratulations to Coach Brands. And the
That's
Hawks.
my guy, that. That's my man. So we're always rooting for them, rooting for Kirk. What a great opportunity.
I tell you, this football team
amazing.
Amazing.
It just, when you've been in this business a long time and you watch sport and you watch coaches and you watch players, like, they figured out a way to win.
It's one of the great stories. All year.
You can try to analyze it, but forget it. It's a different kind of game, with field position and turnovers and offense and defense and special teams. But when you end up on the left-hand side, that's all that matters.
Let's hope for one more on Saturday. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Yeah, thanks.
Good night, everybody, from Hawk Talk, Hyatt Regency.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network, from Learfield, live from the Hyatt Regency, this has been Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery, brought to you by Authentic Brand, unique Hawkeye apparel at authentic-brand.com. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. By your local Ford dealers. Hy-Vee, score big savings with the new Hy-Vee Perks membership. Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by U.S. Cellular, built for the Hawkeyes. Built for silencing notifications and turning up the noise. U.S. Cellular, built for us. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.